Hello and welcome to the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur Show. I'm Christian, I'm your host. And today we're going to talk about why success isn't about food. It is all about relationship. And we doing this now. So once again, my name is Christian. I'm the host of the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur Show. If you don't mind, click the little link above here and save this episode and make sure you share it with somebody who can benefit from it. And also, if you wouldn't mind, write on the comments what do you think about today's episode. And we're talking about why community matters in this culinary world. And I say it all the time. Success isn't just about food. It's about community and it's about relationship and it's about you putting yourself out there to different people. So why is this important? You probably heard it said that the strongest brands build a movement, not just meals. And there's a lot of them out there. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about how to build a loyal, engaged community, not just around you, but around your brand. So let's get into it. So, again, my name is Christian, and if people are logging in for the first time, I've been in this industry for over 30 years. I owned restaurants. I was at one point the chief culinary officer with multiple thousands of people reporting to me. So I had the opportunity to kind of hone my skill around this over the last few years. So, and I want to share this with you today. So for the next 5 to 10 minutes, we're going to talk about what is important and why and how you build community. So I have some notes here and it's really simple. You probably heard it said that the most loyal brands build a word of mouth market, a word of mouth community, a word of mouth business. And when I think about that, Shake Shack come to mind. They're doing a really amazing job on doing this. And then for me, what they're doing really well is loyal customers, they advocate for their brand. How often do you run into somebody who does that for them? They increased repeat business because of that. And they have a strong differentiation on a crowded market. I love Shake Shack. I go there not as often as I would like, but I love that brand. So for me, this is step number one. It's really important for you to build a loyal brand around the word of mouth marketing. And Shake Shack and Momofuku do a really good job in doing that. So that is really important. And in my history, we did that. And the reason we as an organization grew as fast as we did, I honestly feel is because we're very loyal to our customers and we're building their brand with word of mouth. So what is next? So for me, you need to really define your brand. And we talk about that. And that's something which took me a very long time to do. So what are you standing for? What is it? What do you stand for? What makes you different? What mission, values, and stories do you tell? And what should be really clear to you and your customers? And through the years, for me, that was the hardest thing to learn. And because for me, I said, hey, I want to serve everybody. My brand serves everybody and we helping everybody. But as you get clear and know exactly what you stand for, and then also what you against, so people know exactly what you stand for. And then also with your mission, values, and stories, you get really clear on what you want to do. And then the marketing is easy and the communicating is easy. And that's how the Disruptive Chef community was born. So for us, that's one of the really big ones. Also, we're talking about how do you engage locally. And I know we hitting now over 100,000 people with this podcast, but how do you make an impact locally via food festivals? How do you collaborate with local businesses? And how do you host even pop-ups? For me, pop-up is one of the greatest things because it helps a a chef, a restaurant build a fan base. And for me, doing a local pop up is absolutely amazing. So for me, the second point is you need to know what you stand for so people know what you're against. And that's the easiest thing. And you do this through your mission, your values, and the stories you communicate out to the marketplace. And you do this locally by attending local events, food festivals. You collaborate with local businesses. You do pop ups. Because if you passionate about your brand, a pop up is easy, and I know you will do a great job. So, and then point number three for me is, and that's probably the hardest thing, is um, how do you authenticate, or what is your authenticity in wins? You know, people leave behind. Um, a something you can study. And for me, you probably heard it said that success leaves clues, and that's for me really important. And then how do you interactively engage? And that's for me. We hired somebody who does this via polls, Q and A's, and user generated content. So for us, is what we doing here for you today is something we have learned over the years, and that's not something we write about or we learn somewhere else. We actually made these mistakes, and we hopefully you don't make those same mistakes we did. So you celebrate your community and you feature customers, you feature team members. For us, that's probably one of the biggest ones. A lot of business owners forget that at the end of the day, they are in business to service customers. And how great is it when they come in and they see employee of the month or a special recognition of an employee? So for me, that's really, really important. And I think Domino's does a really good job engaging their customers and making them feel like they're part of a brand. And that's the end of the day, what we want to do. So for me, point number three is, how do you have that social strategy and community building out there, and how do you spend your time communicating to the world of what you do? And you do this by authentic wins, share with your customers, hey, this is what I just did. You have that interactive engagement and you celebrate your community. So this for me is point number three. And then for me, the final point, how do you create a loyal fan base through connection? And for me, I think so many restaurants do this really, really well, but they don't take it the next step up. So what I mean by that is, how do you have a personalized creation of a loyalty program? You know what? Customer remember names. They love when you call them by their first name. If you write down a little card, and I learned this actually from one of our front desk managers at our hotel. And when somebody came in and said, hey, I'm sorry I was late because my dog, Snoopy, whatever you want to name him, had to go to the hospital. And for me, I'm running a little bit late because I had to bring him there. So he wrote down Snoopy was in the hospital. And then when they came back, he shared with them, hey, so good to see you. By the way, where's Snoopy? And they're, oh my God, you remember Snoopy. So for me, people know and love when you remember their names. And then also when you have exclusive offers, so VIP tasting, if you want to do loyalty contents, secret menu items. Those are great way of having exclusive perks for your customers, which is really important. And then for me, I think that thinking of a company which does that really well is Starbucks, because they turning customers into brand advocates. That's something they're doing really, really well. And that's also something you should do. So for me, have a personalized loyalty program, so whatever that looks like for you, and have exclusive partnerships and exclusive perks. So with that also goes, how do you collaborate with other brands? We're talking about this a lot, and we are actively having 2-3 partnership before a week, because for me, if you have a collaboration of another brand, they're helping you spread the word, and you might get a different customer you wouldn't get on their own. So for me, it's really important for you to go out there and spread your brand. And for me, I have a local liquor store here, and there's a local restaurant which does tastings there every Friday. It's a genius idea. And they're saying, hey, we want to hear from what you want to put on the menu. There's 3 dishes we have. And on purpose, they very specific of how much they bring. They always run out, and there's always a fan base around that. But for me, I absolutely love that. So a coffee shop should partner with a bakery, and a chef should definitely partner with a brewery, because that's where most of your clients, get their stuff. And so for me, it's a really good partnership. Also, for me, one of the other things is, how do you give back? And that's something which is very important to me. We currently, supporting 176 churches, and we managing 6 very intimately. So for me, whichever you give back might look different than what we do today. And you could do this if you have a restaurant, fundraising, free meals for those who need it. Or, hey, when you come in and you are a law officer, or you in the fire department, you get free coffee. How about support sustainable initiatives? How great would it be if you have a market and you support the local market, and if you have this co-op, that you participate in a co-op and you promote them. And then also for me, what is really important is partnering with local charities, and not just to partner with them, to give with them, is also understand your community. Because for me, as we started supporting the churches and doing all of that, for me, it became really clear what community we live in. And if you help them grow their community, they will go out there and tell everybody about you. So for me, it's probably one of the biggest things, or the biggest impacts we have seen in our organization, because we supporting them. So that is, for me, how you build a brand. This is how you build a legacy, and this is how you have people follow you. So let's recap quick. Community building isn't about selling. It's about building a connection. And for me, that's the biggest one. And for me, as I had my restaurant, I wanted to sell. And by default, I built a connection with the community. And we were so successful because we built that community. And then also have a challenge, pick one of the strategies which work for you. And please write in the comments below how that worked for you, because we want to know how you took today's message and made an impact for you and your community. And so, for me, I want to say thank you for being here today. Hopefully this was helpful. And then, if you don't mind, on the link below, share these episodes with your fellow friends or somebody who is in your community. And then also DM me at That Disruptive Chef, because I want to see how you take today's information and build a strong community, and I would love to hear about that. Once again, my name is Christian. I'm the host of the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur Show, and we absolutely love having you here. And hopefully, the message and the items we share with you are of use, and not just sharing with you. We telling you this is what we did in order for us to work, and for us to build our brand, and for us to build multiple businesses. And nobody told me that. I wish that somebody would have told me 20 years ago, hey, Christian, you need to go to the local communities. Hey, Christian, you need to build this brand. Hey, you need to have a different concept or a different perk. You do as do some of your competition, and then really get really involved in your community. Because for me, that's what makes all of the difference. And for me, that's one of the things I'm really passionate about. So hopefully that was helpful for you. If you like this episode, please share it with a friend. Please also comment below what resonated with you, and maybe I missed something. So if you don't mind, do this, and we see you at the next episode. I want to say thanks for being here today, and we see you at the next episode. Thanks, everybody.